Listen, man, she air on my pod till I water on her bottle. Hey, everybody, what's up? Welcome back to the Game Sketches. Today, and only today, we are here to talk about Sonic Frontiers. All right, I want to talk about specifically now that, we've had the month of June pass. We've had a little time to think, marinate. Now that we're not like getting news every 5 seconds, just sit down, talk about what we know so far, my thoughts, how everyone's feeling, go over what I think is gonna come next, what we're gonna know, and all of that. So we're just gonna get into the game in a big way here. So guys, before we get into that, of course, first of all, I want to thank everybody who wished me a happy birthday. Thank you so much. I talked about it on stream and stuff, but much love. You guys were insane. 1,000 subs on Twitch. Y'all made a crazy amount of fan art. Y'all made incredible, nice messages to me in DMs and tweets and everything. So thank you for all the birthday love. I appreciate 26 and stronger. Let's keep growing on all platforms. I love and appreciate every single one of you. So thank you for all the love and support as always. So guys, without further ado, let's get right into it. So Sonic Frontiers, right? The month of June has passed. It's been I think it's been now exactly a month since I think that IGN World Gameplay. What was it? It was June 1st. It's been a little more than a month since that first gameplay reveal from IGN. And yeah, it's funny looking back now at just how I feel like what was shown here, right, from the IGN, the first trailer from them, everything has shifted so much from this moment on, not just on a perception standpoint, but on a just gameplay and hype level. Because I feel like, looking back now, it's a month later, this gameplay showcase was definitely rough. I still enjoyed it. Like I said, I thought conceptually, right, I was like to me, when I saw the gameplay that was going on here, let's say if we move further on, right, my biggest takeaway from a lot of this was the fact that oh, this game might need a delay, because you were seeing these awful texture pop-ups, these really bad texture pop-ups, platforms coming out of nowhere, very closely by to them as well, and everything kind of feeling weird, slow, and I think also the gameplay here is in 30 FPS. So it really was an off showing for the first time, and I think it caused a lot of debate within people. Were like, okay, this is the promise here, the ideas here are super cool and dope, but man, did it cause so much turmoil and problems when I think it didn't need to. And I still don't know who to blame. Obviously, look, we know that this is the footage Sega chose to show them, so that's on Sega. But at the same time, I wish IGN was a little more open and clear from the get-go of hey, here's a lot of info about this game to mitigate, and I understand they wanted to drag out the info throughout the month, and I don't think they did a really great job, I'm gonna be honest with you, because I think it was 2 gameplay videos, and then the rest was interview. And if anything, the best piece of info to come out from IGN for Sonic was the interview, where they were talking about, the hands-on time he had, and how he enjoyed it, how the combo was really cool, the skill trees, all this stuff. Because looking at this gameplay here is so much different from the gameplay we got in the Game Awards showcase, where we got this nice 60 FPS smooth gameplay. Look at this in particular, right here, when we discovered there really was a different build going on. I want to find the exact shot here. It's when Sonic climbs all the way up the tower. Hold up, let me see if I can get this right. He goes up here. Hold up, I'll try to find this for y'all. Right here it is. Right, so you see this, right? He goes up here, right? Look at how fucking awful the pop in here is. You go from awfully ugly to see, and then right here, right, look at it from the get-go, right? Instantly, look, no weird texture pop, and it is very clearly a different build. Here you can see it here slightly, but it's so motion blurred as opposed to how clear it is in the the other one right here, where it's just awfully massive. But yeah, no, I feel this gameplay right here was a big changer for everybody, which was just this 4K gameplay we got randomly of the world, where we were just seeing how smooth it looks to move around the world, and we get to see some enemy fights and all that stuff. And I feel just on a fundamental gameplay level and all this stuff, I think obviously no matter how you feel about the game, I still think the idea of the delay felt no longer necessary, because after this was released, no one was using that hashtag anymore where they were like hashtag release the demo, release the Frontiers demo, blah blah blah, because it felt very clear that, oh, okay, what they played was older and this is going to be what the game is. Obviously they still have to fix the trick system, because I do not like Sonic just sporadically kicking his leg into the air, but for the most part this is what the game is, and I don't mind that. Honestly, it looks really good. It's like, I like the areas, like there's like the grind rails up there you can go to, and you get a good look at this world. And obviously you get, you know, the boss fight here, you get a good look at the combat. And yeah, just it was sort of, in a lot of ways for me, I felt like it was nice to see this game progressively get better throughout the month. Now, it wasn't even just this gameplay, it was all of the things that were said and that people pieced together. So for example, right, obviously if you've been in tune with anything Sonic, you saw that people were like gathering chunks of footage from Summer Games Fest, and people were seeing, you know, the UI and how you can level up all your different moves, and that's how we were catching Cyberspace levels for the first time. And some people briefly saw a cutscene and all this stuff. So there was already that, and that, if anything, was getting people excited. Again, it was very stupid how it happened, but it was getting people excited, you know. And I think, like I said, even the combat, seeing more of it within the world is cool. We found out there's the light speed dash. We found out there's so many, like, we found out that really the combat is definitely going to be a heavy part of the game. I really just love the spin cycle. Like this, the spin cycle in Smooth 60 is just an awesome move in general. I'm just so happy about that move that they chose to make that. I think it's going to be so cool to do, you know, when there's a bunch of enemies and all that stuff, and I think that alone is so dope. So we had that, and then of course then we started to get the interviews, and the interviews got people excited, you know, and the gameplay hands-on, because we found that so much, like obviously where Ian Flynn's taking the story, we still don't know too much about the story really. Like obviously, you know, people are putting their trust in the writers, you know, and the team working on it, because they said like the story is gonna be, hey, back to the sort of era you liked of Sonic stories, or more IDW in there. It's not gonna be too many characters, you know. Already we know it's the game starts with Sonic, Amy, and Tails, which is a unique pair. I mean, not really unique, I mean it's from the OGs, but still it's very random nowadays that we get a game that starts with Sonic, Amy, and Tails journey, and you have to find them, and they're going with this amnesia angle, but it seems like the amnesia stuff ends fairly quickly, because like by the end of Island 1, apparently, you know, you find Amy, you find her memories, you give them to her, and I guess Sonic's going to the cyberspace levels, and that's maybe how he pieces his memories and all that stuff. And obviously, speaking of cyberspace levels, that was another big one that popped up. That was from the Nintendo Direct, where we first saw like in-game footage. Let me pull that up, because that was like another, the Nintendo Direct side trailer was like another Nintendo Direct Sonic, or Sonic Frontiers. Let me go ahead and grab this, because this was also like another thing that got people really excited, and you know, fairly so. I think this unironically was one that like was kind of the only real trailer we got from IGN and others who got stuff, but it wasn't the same. Now obviously you were getting Switch footage, so everything didn't look incredible, you know, but at the very least, you know, like I said, you got more looks at the game, you saw more of what's going on. We also had that mini look at the boss at the Sonic Central, which I thought was really cool. But yeah, seeing like the fight here where like, you know, you're clearly more leveled up and you can kill these enemies in one shot, seeing more of the boss side with the you know, the bye lady, don't worry about it, seeing obviously this robot that you can just counter is so cool. But yeah, I just, listen, man, as I was saying, I feel like we kept learning about this stuff throughout the month, and things kept getting better. And obviously a big part is the cyberspace levels. Now I made a video recently talking all about that, so we don't have to go too in depth, but obviously this has also caused a, you know, double conversation where like it's cool that we have the boost type levels in the game, but I know some people are upset that it is basically you're revisiting Sonic memories. Now here's the thing, this has potential, honestly, to like, what's it called, give us more stages. You know, remember, like if there's 6 to 7 cyberspace levels per world, we're looking at a game that could have like up to 25 plus cyberspace levels. We can get a bunch of new old places, and also the old places are remade different levels. And obviously we also got our first look at Sage over here, you know, that we've gotten a bunch of cool art for, which has been really nice to see on the timeline, all the memes of her like kicking you off the eye and all that stuff. But yeah, there's our first look at Sage. It's our first like new character in a while, so she looks cool. She's got like her mechanics going on here. from Xenoblade. But yeah, no, so we've gotten so much more on the game, but I think now what's to come is really important, right? Because I think there's a lot I think people need to see, and I think the biggest one is seeing to believe it, right? Because listen, Game Informers played the game. They're talking all this stuff about, yeah, like, here's the skill tree, it's really cool. They're talking about how, certain boss fights they got to. They're talking about, they talk about the cyberspace levels. They talk a lot of good things. They mention the story and all this stuff. And I feel like we are being told a lot of things, which is good. People playing the game and having a good time with it and explaining us all this stuff, I think is important, cool. But like, I would like to see a little bit of it. Like, I think we need some sort of story trailer or story clip of something. We have yet to hear Roger Craig Smith utter a word. We haven't heard a voice line. We haven't heard anything from any of the cast at all. And again, like I said, it's like, I'm sure we're gonna get a story trailer, but like, just something, give us something from the cast, one cutscene, drop it on Twitter, online, or something. I feel like they got to start getting into that soon so we can understand sort of how the characters, are being played. But I think it's going to be exciting either way from what we understand is going on. I also hope Sonic does have little quips in the open world. I hope he is saying some things and that, they're hiding it right now. Because it would be cool if, cause kind of like on Spider-Man PS4, Spider-Man just randomly talks to himself. It would be cool if Sonic did something like that in the open world as well. Aside from that, right, we have other stuff. We have to figure out, obviously, the main theme. Now, we heard sort of a glimpse of it in the Nintendo Direct trailer where we heard the music. We don't know if that's like the battle theme or anything, but we have yet to hear the main theme. We know Otani and the gang are working on the OST, and that's going to be super dope. And we know that the cyberspace levels are going to be... Also, I still want to know what the fuck is going on down here. What are all these pillars? Like, are you supposed to like scavenge through all this? I have no idea. But yeah, no, so we have that. We also know again that there's multiple islands. So when are we gonna get a look at the second island? Because I feel like a lot of people, are taking this almost as like this is the place you're gonna be in for the game, which isn't the case. We know that there's gonna be multiple open zones you can go to because it is the Starfall Islands, but you're going to the different open zones, and I'm very curious to see the other ones they have in there, because again, as I was saying before, like, I think people are assuming too much that this is the only area, when I would maybe call this, the Great Plateau of the game, the first main area, and the others could be cooler. Now, I think they are going to stay with this look for the most part, because people were because the directors, were talking about how what's it called, Izuka and the team were talking about how like they're sort of going for this very out of left field, style for Sonic, where you get into these areas that are very juxtaposed to the more cartoony style of the games, which I don't mind. Like I said, as long as it's fun to navigate through, as long as there's cool platforming, cool action stuff to do, it's really good. The team's also confirmed ever since that like you can play this game how you want. Like, you can mainline it, you can level up some of your moves, you don't have to do a super shit ton amount of moves, you can make sure you prioritize going to the cyberspace levels, you can just continue on. I assume you do the cyberspace levels if you want Supersonic in the end boss fight of each island. You probably could do it without it, but it would make it harder. I assume it's going to be something sort of like that. But again, I also like the idea that you can play Supersonic multiple times, because maybe that means you can upgrade him, and that would be super dope if we could get upgrades for Supersonic. But yeah, man, I think, listen, for the most part, I am very excited as of right now. Like, I feel like from what we saw in the updated trailer, and what we know from interviews and all this stuff, we know, here's the thing, right? The realistic thing, let me grab this light bulb right here. The realistic thing here, right, is that we're gonna get our next big info dump at Gamescom. We know the game's gonna be playable at Gamescom. That's gonna take place in August, so that's gonna be our next big gameplay chunk. I assume, I'm just assuming, it's not guaranteed, but that makes a lot of sense that we'd see it, because it's going to be playable there. We also need to get our story trailer. We also need the main theme, so maybe they'll drop that online at some point. And yeah, I feel like, again, also, we also need a release date. I mean, if this game is still slated for this year, which Izuka and the team are very adamant about saying, like, hey, like, this game is coming out this year, we're ready. I think we found that in a recent interview. The game is about 80% complete, which means, you know, they're probably in their bug testing phases and they're fixing everything and all this, which is good. But we need a release date soon. I assume by August, end of August, we will know a lot more about this game. I feel like we will get a Gamescom trailer, and that's gonna be sort of where we get more gameplay, some story stuff, release date, and all that good information. But yeah, for the most part, guys, I am very excited for all this. So everybody, let me know what you all think of Sonic Frontiers so far. Do you think we know too little? Do you what else do you want to know? Are you sold? Are you still on the iffy side? Are you excited? Let me know all your thoughts below. And of course, guys, I'll see you all next time. Peace out. I love you.